Hello and welcome back to my RC channel. I'm AndyRC and I've got an exciting video for you today. Yes, I'm going to be checking out the Xiaomi Mi Drone 4K edition. So yes, this video is going to be completely shot in 4K, but don't worry if your computer or internet connection can't handle that. You can go in the bottom right corner and change the resolution that you like. But I'm interested in the 4K capabilities of this model, so I'm going to be checking that out. And before I go any further, I just want to say this is a completely different model. It's not the 1080p version with a 4K camera bolted to it. They have made a ton of changes, and I'll give you a spoiler. It is fantastic. It is now a viable contender against DJI, specifically the Mavic. I would say that the video is maybe better than the Mavic in 4K. Of course, that is subjective, but it's certainly got a wider field of view, and unlike the Mavic, it doesn't fold down, so it's not a small model. The legs fall down, of course, so we have these two little levers here, and then the legs fold down, so it does become a smaller model, but it is a big model, this one, so that doesn't bother me at all. But that is something that's great about the Mavic, and I know people will say I have the Mavic for its portability, and that's absolutely fair enough. I understand that. So let's talk about the things that have changed with this model. But before I do that, I want to just thank everybody for subscribing to the channel. I'm coming up to 30,000 subscribers, which I could never have imagined. So thank you so much for your support watching these videos, and as long as you watch them, I'll keep making them. So let's get on to this exciting drone slash quadcopter. So let's talk about the things that they have changed. Of course, the first is the camera, but it does look the same, except that it has these gold stripes on it. Now, in fact, the quadcopter, to show that it's the 4K version, does have gold all around it, so it's a bit of a bling model there, but they have changed the way the propellers attach, and I quite like this. So can you see we have got these golden tops here and silver tops, and these twist around like that and then just pull off. So the other model, you had to twist them around. I'll just show you there. They have this kind of notch in here, and the propellers, they push down and twist. Very easy. I like that. Apart from that, the motors look to be the same. They are 2212 motors, and again, this gimbal all looks the same. So your micro SD card goes in underneath here. Now you need a really high quality micro SD card for the 4K, and then we have the fan under here to keep everything cool, and a little USB port there, but I haven't needed to connect any USB stuff at all. And then underneath here we've got some more bling, some more gold, and then the gimbal here, it disconnects here with this little lever and it comes apart just the same as the other version. We've also got the sonar at the back there, and also the optical camera for its hovering stability, which is really nice. We've got these LEDs underneath here, and then of course the battery. So the battery is the same as the 1080p version, except it's got a nice little gold button on there, but they are interchangeable. So it's a high volt battery, so 17.4 volts, and it is 5100 milliamp, and they say that should give you a 26-minute flight. In reality, it gives about a 20-minute flight, which is still respectable. So just as before, the battery does have an indicator on it to show you how much it is charged, and that's a short press there. Now, a downside with this model is the charge time. So it does come with the same charger as the 1080p version, and it connects in a unusual way. So it will only go on one way. So we have these two pins in here, and then that just connects in here. Now, it was taking almost 3 hours to charge this battery, which is a long time, so you might want to get some spare batteries with it. But yeah, charge is nice. It needs an adapter for me, of course. So you're given a spare set of props with this model. You're given a micro USB cable, and then a manual, and this is a downside. The manual, again, is in Chinese. However, it's really straightforward, and you can kind of guess from the pictures what you need to do. One thing I should mention is it says in here that we get some prop protectors. I didn't get any prop protectors with mine, but that could be because I have a sort of pre-production model, so I'm not too bothered about prop protectors anyways. You know, you're not going to be flying this indoors, so yeah, I didn't get those. And so that's the manual there, and this is the thing the manual comes in. So the box is exactly the same as the 1080p version that I received. So there is something that's different with this one though. This is the controller, and again we've got some bling on the sticks here, so gold. And then we have this. So this is a Wi-Fi repeater. And I don't think I'm going to be using this, but what it does is it transmits a Wi-Fi hotspot, and then you can connect your phone to it. That's something I should mention regarding this model, is they have completely updated the way that the video is received, and they're now saying that this one will go between 4 and 6 kilometers in distance. They've also gotten rid of the 120 meter height limit, and you can bump that up to 500 meters if you're allowed to do so. And yeah, so pretty much the same controller, otherwise has a built-in battery. And one thing I'm really pleased about with this is my Google Pixel phone, and on the 1080p version it was crashing using a micro USB-C. It is now fine with micro USB-C. They have corrected pretty much all of the issues with this one. I'm so thrilled with it. Of course, we have the antennas at the back there. You're going to want to have these angled slightly down, and then we have the phone holder, which also now tilts forward a little bit, so you can tilt your phone forward. Now, it's not going to fit a tablet in there. This is quite a big phone. This is the Plus version, and that fits in there no problem if you're worried about your phone fitting into it. But the controls are the same. So we have the on button. Again, it's a DJI on button, so it's a double tap and then hold, and then it turns on. It also tells you the battery level in this as well. This took forever to charge, probably about 5 hours until it was full. I like how these light up here. So this is a takeoff and landing button. We have the return to home button, which is on a switch. Got a thing there for if you want your lanyard connected there. Doesn't come with a lanyard. This one is for the pitch of the gimbal, so up and down. And then this one here is now programmable, so you can have it change the exposure on the camera, so up and down, so dark and light, or you can have it so that it goes from GPS to ATI mode, so that's getting rid of GPS mode. Or you can also have it change the lights at the front, same as before, so that's pretty nice. Then you got two buttons on the back here, B there, and that one starts and stops video recording, and A starts and stops photo, so that's pretty nice. Okay, so let me take you through the app quickly. So I am going to show you how to connect to it using the USB dongle that they give you, but I'm going to be using a cable when I fly this, because for me an extra device in the way of things is just going to add latency. So I will show you how to use this though. You can also charge it down here, by the way, little micro USB connector to charge it. Right, so I've got everything turned on and the quadcopter's turned on as well. Let's go into the Wi-Fi settings here, and we're looking for one called AndyRC. So let me just go into more settings here, and then I'm going to select AndyRC. Now, this took me ages to figure out because it doesn't tell you the password anywhere because it's all in Chinese, but it's 1 to 9. So I'm just going to connect to that. And there you go, it says connected but no internet. It might give me one of those warnings to say that there's no internet connection through this. There we go, you have to wait for that. otherwise it won't work. So now I'm going to go into the Mi Drone app. So the app is completely in English and they have fixed the majority of the issues. It's really good. So you can see there it says connect RC and phone with USB or Wi-Fi. Now I think before it just said USB, so if I press next, so if you've got the USB connected, then it's going to ask you to turn tethering on, but we've got another option for the Wi-Fi, so I'm going to press OK there. It's going to take me to the Wi-Fi and it says already connected. So if I go back there now, you can see it says checking connection. That's good news, and it takes a little while. Checking the hardware, it says as well. That takes just a moment and then it should connect. There we go, so it's come up with the map view. So just to take you through again some of the settings here, so that's your altitude in meters, that's your distance in meters, and then we have got your horizontal speed, and then vertical speed in meters, your RC signal showing strong, and graph I think is video, and that is strong as well. EV, I guess, is that elevation or is that the exposure? Yeah, so EV is the exposure setting, and I'll take you through that in a bit because that's something that's changed. If you want to go over to the camera view, we just press that there, and then you can see got the camera view there. This option here takes you into the SD card, and we can go and check stuff in there, like watch stuff and check what it's recorded. So actually when you record video with this, it records a little, I think it's like 480p, maybe a bit lower version, so that you can stream it straight from your phone, which is something new. So if we want to start and stop video, it's this button here, of course, and then if we want to go into photo mode, you just lift this up here and then it goes into photo mode. It does record in RAW, this fantastic RAW and JPEG. We have got the battery percentage up there, and that is also shown in this bar down here. And we've got the number of GPS satellites, and that is shown down here as well. Then we've got the settings here, so I can update the firmware. Compass calibration, very important. So you press that and it directs you to twist the model horizontally and vertically, and that works fine. So beginner mode was turned off, but I think that was maybe from my previous experience with this app. So I have got GPS mode turned on here, and that is where you can change the altitude limit. So I've set it to 500 meters, but I'm going to be keeping it to 120 meters here. And I've got the flight velocity limited as well, but you can turn that up and down. Altitude of the return to home, that's all working now. And then we've got VPU mode and attitude mode here. I did cover this in the original review of the 1080p version, so I'll just sort of brush over that. Show more parameters. So stick mode, I'm flying mode 1, but you can change it to mode 2 there. And then you can change the right dial here, as I mentioned, so adjust the exposure value of the camera. So there's no ISO change that you can make or shutter speed, but you can change the exposure, and then GPS mode here as well, and adjust the brightness of the front lights, so you have to switch between those. We've got battery info, gimbal calibration, I didn't touch gimbal, working fantastic. Camera settings, so it's set to 4K 30. We can also do 1440p at 60 frames or 1920 by 1080 at 100 frames per second, 60 frames per second as well. And then we've got the photo options there as well. And then also JPEG or JPEG and RAW, fantastic. Format the SD card there as well. And then we have got flight logging and things like that down here as well. We cannot record audio at the same time, which you could do with the 1080p version. Okay, let's go for a takeoff with this thing. Now, it's doing a very similar thing to what the 1080p version did, in that the app keeps telling me that there's interference with the compass, and I have to point it that way in order for it to take off, but it's fine then. Then I get intermittent errors flagging up on the screen to say that there is some interference on the compass. But anyways, let's go and fly it around. It's a gorgeous day here today, a little bit windy mind, but let's go for a fly. So I am hearing some slight jitters coming from the motors. It reminds me of the Hubsan H501S that had those similar sounds, but it doesn't come through on the picture, so that is fine. So let's get a little bit of height on here. And one thing you'll notice is the gimbal is keeping completely level, which is a problem that the 1080p version had. And it looks absolutely fantastic, I think. So let's just fly around the field a little bit. Now I am screen recording the app at the same time, and I did find that caused it to be a little bit jerky. But that is because the phone is trying to do too much. So let's try getting a little bit of height on this thing. I'm really looking forward to seeing the footage on the computer because it comes out absolutely amazing. Let me just check whilst I'm here that I've got the exposure set to 0. There you go, you can move it in flight. It's at 0 there, so let's get some height on. So currently 41 meters. Wow, nice blue skies today. It's a rare thing. Hopefully the screen recorder is not going to cause me too many problems. What a gorgeous day. Just having a look around. So it's astronomical noon at the moment, and I've done that on purpose so that we don't have the sun on the horizon to blast out the image, which it does do as we're approaching spring here. Ah, what a great picture, and it's coming through nicely on the phone as well. Get a bit more height on, why not? 106 meters, of course. I can take it up to 500 now with this, but I'm not going to. Let's stick it at 400 feet. And let's take a look around. Oh, I'm so pleased with this gimbal. Has a tiny bit of drift, but it's not bad at all. More like you would expect from the DJI products. Really impressed with this, I have to say. The only thing you'll notice with this when viewing it in 4K 30 is that as it pans, because it's only 30 frames per second, then you do get a little bit of blur, and it's only when the quadcopter levels out that you get a nice crystal clear image with 4K. Look at that, that's a beautiful shot. Well, it looks beautiful to me on the phone anyways. Let's just pitch down and look at the road here. This thing is so stable, but the first version, the 1080p version, was very stable, and this one is too. You see there, I'm getting the error on the app intermittently, but it flies fine. So I am really not sure what that is about. It says please be careful, but if we look down here, everything is fine. So try and move across the field a little bit. Why not? Do some nice panning around shots, looking very cinematic. I really like the color grading on this camera as well. Really nice, accurate colors, I think. So I'm not going to be able to test the range today, but as I say, they say it's significantly higher than the 1080p version, and I can believe it because it's performing really nicely here. Look at that. That is very nice. See if I can pan around and follow some of these vehicles down here. I really do think this is on par with the Mavic. Quality wise, of course, of the picture I'm talking. But this is a beautiful day to show that. Try some fast pans, see if I can upset it. Not at all. Okay. Let's bring it down a little bit. Right, it says it's coming down at 2 meters per second, but definitely feels slower than that. Can I spot it in the sky? Oh yeah, it's a beautiful day today. Oh, if only it did this every single day. That will make my life a lot easier. Beautiful shots there. It does look like the video has frozen. Let's go into the map view there and then back. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. Yeah, just the video froze up, but then I went to the map view and then back. That could be the screen recorder messing with it, because I've not had that before. Ah, what a wonderful machine. I think we've got something here to compete with DJI. Let's just take a look at the hover. See how stable it is using that sonar and optical stabilizing. That looks absolutely locked into me. Not moving at all. Oh yeah, that is nice. Let's try and do some low flying, shall we? Why not? See if I can upset the gimbal. Well, I don't think I will. I love these sideways panning shots. That's gonna look good in 4K. They've recently cut the grass, so I'm gonna have to be careful it doesn't fly up too much and get stuck on the camera. Try going forward and see what happens. Wow, that's a nice shot. Let's come back around. Yeah, you're gonna want to use a mobile device that has got a bright screen, of course. That looks pretty epic on the phone. See if I can come down the pathway. Oh, I can't really see it because of the sun. It's very bright. Mind the bin. Okay, we're on 58% battery. So what I want to do is try that orbit mode. One of the automatic features, but it doesn't quite do it right. Oh, it's so bright here. Okay, video's still going. 11 minutes. Let's go into the orbit flight, and then what you're supposed to do is fly over the point of interest. That's what it says. So if I stand right underneath it and then do set point of interest and then start, it's going to fly away and start orbiting. Now let's see if it keeps me in shot. Let's go back to the camera. Tilt the camera down a little bit. Let's see what happens. So I'm not going to move other than turn towards it. It's sort of doing it, you know. I don't think it's doing it as well as the DJI. Wonder if I just move it back a little bit, maybe that's what it wants us to do, just a little bit close before. Yeah, so then can I go back into the settings and speed it up, or I think I have to maybe pause it if I want to speed it up, or can I use the, yeah, I think I can make it tilt the other way. Yeah, by just using the stick. I don't think it's following us nicely now. I think I may have upset it there. Yeah, let's just pause that a minute. Actually, let's terminate it. Let's try it again. Ah, beautiful day. Right, let's go back into here. Oh, let's get a bit of height on. Go into orbit flight. Set point of interest, so that's where it is now. So I'm going to stand underneath it. Set point of interest. So this is where I can change the speed. So let's just go up to 4 there. And then let's start it. And it flies away. Hopefully it's gonna point at me at some point, is it? Yeah, there we go. It does its thing. Let's go back to the video. That's going much quicker this time. Hopefully it's not gonna hit anything. It's sort of doing it, but DJI does do this better. That's going quite fast. So I'm 43% battery here. We've been flying for 15 minutes. I think the warning comes up at 30. Yeah, it's sort of getting me in shot. Well, I'm sort of off to one side. Okay. Let's terminate that. Oh, I'm having a lot of fun flying this one, I tell you. Beautiful pictures as well. Well, let's try fly around. It's give it a little bit of speed and see what happens. Probably gonna get props in the shot, I would imagine. Nice. Flying nice. I like how it sort of dampens the yaw when you go too fast. Well, that's something that's programmed into it. 38%. Let's do one last. Actually, shall we try the droney? Let's see what that's gonna do. I'm a little bit worried where that's gonna fly though with this space. Well, let's try out droney flight. Be aware of the altitude, choose an open area, avoid obstacles. Yes, don't remind me. Okay. Set droney flight. So, I think what I gotta do is get me in shot. So, get myself in the crosshair there, and then next, start. And then I can just terminate it on here if I want. There it goes. And it's just flying away from me. And then slowly gaining height, is it? Okay, let's terminate that. That was a little bit slow. Let's bring him back. Oh, this is a lot of fun, but the battery's gonna come up with a warning soon. Droney flight. Next, droney speed. Let's get it faster. Distance 118 meters. There you go, so you can change the distance there, 58 meters. Auto return after it's done it, but we can just terminate it. So I've been flying here 18 minutes. Yeah, flying around fast does definitely drain the battery. There it goes, doing its droney. Low battery, so let's terminate the droney. And let's bring it back and find a nice place to land it. So, not bad flight time, 18 minutes. They said 26, but they always get that wrong, don't they? It looks like the video again has locked up there, probably my screen recorder. There we go, we're back. Please land, it is saying. Just have one last pirouette around. I'm enjoying the view too much. Righto, let's do a landing. See if the props stop. They do. Stop the video. And there we go. That is my review of the Xiaomi Mi drone, the 4K version. So much better than the 1080p version. It is a contender for DJI, absolutely. And I will put a link in the description if you wish to get one. I suggest that you do. As always, thanks so much for watching. Please continue to subscribe. Cheers.